welcome. I am Nate Miller, and this is CageCast, where we have one goal, and that's to get winners in 15 minutes or less. Today's show is going to be a little different. We're switching up the format. Instead of breaking down just one extended card, and regardless of bets, just breaking or previewing every fight, we're only going to be previewing the bets we have because we are going to be covering Bellator 112 and UFC 171, one bet each, and then our usual small play, big pay parlay. But before we get into that, same old news from our sponsor, the Mod Cabin. March 20th. We will be having a drawing from the Cage Cash Twitter handle. You can find that at Cage Cash. And it's just going to be little basic MMA quiz trivia questions. First correct answer wins a Mod Cabin product, so stay tuned. Also from our other sponsor, Counter Move Fantasy MMA. Last week's winner was, and I joke not, Lick Mikuchi with 473 points. Good job, Licky. I actually follow this guy on Twitter. He's pretty cool. But yeah, same game this week for Bellator 112. Keep an eye out for that. Now, without any further ado, let's just get right into Bellator 112. We're only going to have one suggested play and then one leg in our small play, big pay parlay, which is going to be cross-promotional between the two events. Just before we get into this, I wanted to say I am leaning Kern in the rematch. I think he'll be a lot more aggressive this fight around. I know that sounds crazy because he was dominated in the first, but I just don't think he's going to be the same fighter. I think he's going to be much more aggressive. I also like Andrei Koreshkov, though I think he's a little bit expensive. Between Paul Bradley and Nathan Coy, I think that's a toss-up fight. They fought once before to a split decision. Bradley got the nod, but I think Coy has improved. I'm leaning Coy currently, but there's no way I could bet that fight in any form of confidence. And between Sam Oropeza and Cristiano Souza, obviously Cristiano Souza on Fight Master, I gotta lean Souza, even though it's on short notice and he has terrible cardio and is a really low fight IQ at times. He's just going to be the better wrestler. I mean, even though he's not a good wrestler, Sam Oropeza is so easy to take down that if he does take him down, it's just his fight to win. It's just his fight to lose right now, in my opinion. But no way I would touch this fight. But the one fight we will be previewing is Adam McDonough versus Jesse Juarez. This is kind of an exciting fight. Adam McDonough's kind of an unproven prospect. He looked really good in his last Bellator fight versus Johnny Buck. Obviously, Johnny Buck has a pretty big fan base and is really popular and is a talented fighter in his own right. But there's Johnny Buck eating a knee right now, and he's just very dangerous on the feet. He's got great power. He does throw spinning back kicks, though I don't think that they're horribly effective or damaging. Where his power really lies is in his boxing and his hands. He does very well on the feet. He does have decent top control and good ground and pound, but nothing dangerous, I would say. I wouldn't say he's an overly talented wrestler. His submission game, it exists, but isn't overly threatening or overly defensive. I wouldn't say that's a strong point. Definitely say his main feature is the power on the feet. But he's coming with a record of 9-0, totally unblemished. He's a slight underdog at plus 170. I actually thought it'd be a bit more. I've actually thought it was kind of weird. I don't know why. I'm a terrible capper, and I thought McDonough would be a larger underdog and Juarez would be a smaller favorite. But I'm terrible at that, so I'm going to admit it. But yeah, Jesse Juarez coming in with a record of 21-8. He's currently sitting at negative 230. That's obvious. I think that's parlayable all day, even between the UFC events. If you can find something you're confident in to parlay with that, I love that play. Jesse Juarez, he's a decent enough striker. I don't think he hits as hard as McDonough to a point, but I definitely think he can hang on the feet. But I don't think it'll be there. I think he's spent the majority of this camp training for Andrei Koreshkov, and this is a short notice switch, and he's going over to Adam McDonough, which Koreshkov is a faster, much more deadly striker and a better grappler, so he's more than prepared for Adam McDonough. And he's just going to be better. I can't describe it any other way. I think he'll be better on the feet. I don't think he hits as hard, but I think he'll be more effective. He'll get there first. And I don't think that it'll spend any time on the feet, so that doesn't even matter. I think he's going to scoop him up, drop him down, work his elbows. Wait, this is actually a tournament match. Remember that. No elbows in the tournament bout. But work his ground and pound and eventually lock in a submission. I do think that Jesse Juarez will finish, and I do feel pretty confident about it. Alright, now moving on to UFC 171, Hendricks versus Lawler for the vacant welterweight belt. I do like this card. I'll say this first. From a fan's point of view, I love this card. Top to bottom, this card is stacked. I'm super pumped for this card. But from a gambler's point of view, there is money everywhere. These lines are awesome. There's a lot to work with. Obviously, we don't have enough time to cover everything. But you can check me out on Twitter. Check my other works. I'll be posting everything. And the only other play I'm really overly confident that I want to talk about is Hector Lombard. But when I made my play, he was at negative 150. Currently, he's in the negative 220s or a little bit higher than that right now. But that's at your own discretion. You could parlay Hector. I've gone into many rants, and if you see anything else I've ever done, you'll know why. But moving on to the play that we are suggesting. All right, Carlos Condit versus Tyrone Woodley, the co-main event of UFC 171. This is a really exciting fight. Obviously, both guys looking to get into the title picture. Definitely more so Carlos than Woodley, but still an entertaining fight nonetheless. This is obviously a contrast of styles. We have the Muay Thai striker versus the All-American wrestler in Woodley. So it's going to be interesting who can implement their game plan more. Obviously, Condit not very well known for stuffing takedowns. Obviously, GSP took him down pretty much at will. Johnny Hendricks took him down at will. Even Martin Kampman controlled him in the first round of their bout. So even though he is a very talented striker, and I do give him a pretty large advantage on the feet, I don't know if he'll be able to hang in the wrestling. That's the big question mark here. Former WC champion Carlos Condit coming with a record of 29-7. He's sitting at -185. Not a surprising line. I definitely agree with it. Definitely that he has a huge public favoritism running with him right now. People like him, people know him, so they're going to bet on him. Tyrone Woodley coming with a record of 12-2, sitting at +160. Like I said, clash of styles. He's a Division I All-American. He's just a tremendous wrestler, and his striking is coming along. His striking has evolved quite a bit. He has a lot of power. He's a lot really explosive. Though I don't think that'll come into play because if he's smart, he will not strike with Carlos Condit. Carlos is way too dangerous on the feet, and like I said, Carlos's chin is just so rock solid that it'd just be pointless. He should focus all his energy on wrestling, but it is a big question mark if he will do that. Obviously, he has had cardio issues in the past. As long as he can win the first 2 rounds and cruise through the third, I could definitely see him grinding out a decision. Carlos Condit, again, he knows when to pour it on. In the third round, he can come on very dangerous, very hungry, and it's a risky play both ways. But I think I have an excellent solution here and a perfect little play that I'm going to get into right now. But let's go through our bets. First up, our bet for Bellator 112. It's going to be the fight with Jesse Juarez and Adam McDonough. I like the under 2.5 +110. McDonough is dangerous. He has a puncher's chance, obviously, so there's that. But like I said, I think Juarez is going to win. I think his wrestling is the difference. I think he can beat him up on the ground and eventually work in a choke. He has a very mean guillotine and a rear naked choke, so I like that play. Next up, for UFC 171, we have our hedge play, the fight we just covered. I want you to throw down 1 unit on Carlos Condit in the distance, +140. I definitely think if anybody's going to finish this fight, it's Carlos. He's dangerous at all times, so this is a decent play. But the main play, with a 1 unit play as well, is going to be Tyrone Woodley, 3-round decision, +225. If I see Tyrone winning anyway, it's going to be by decision. Both are at plus money. It's the perfect hedge play. You're going to win money no matter what, as long as there's not a crazy, as long as Woodley doesn't finish or somehow Carlos out-wrestles Tyrone, which I don't see either happening. And finally, our small play, big pay parlay. This time we have a 4-man cross-promotional play. First and only play with Bellator is actually going to be in the main event of the evening, and I feel pretty strongly about this, actually. I like Strauss and Curran under 4.5 rounds, +170. I know it sounds crazy, but I just got a really good feeling about that. Back to UFC 171, Hendricks round 1, +300. Again, this is just a risky $5 play. Don't think much of it, guys. Jury by decision, +130. I do believe that's how the outcome of that fight ends up, but we're just going to throw it in here. And then OSP versus Nikita Krylov. Fight won't start round 3, and it won't. That comes out at +3,937. $5 bet gets you a little under $200. That is all I have for you people. Please let me know how you feel about this new format. Let us know if you prefer the old style of breaking down every fight on the card and kind of rushing through, or taking our time and covering a few individual bets. But that is all that I have for you. I am your host, Nate Miller. You can follow me on Twitter at Nate Miller MMA. You can follow our sponsors at The Mod Cabin and at Countermove. And of course, follow our website, themmareport.com, at The MMA Report. Enjoy the fights, guys.